before you start dating, the problem is now people are dating when they're 11. That's one big problem right there. And the Bible says don't awaken love before it's time. In other words, there are desires within you just by being a man and being a woman. You're not filthy, you're not dirty. God gave you those desires, but they have a season. And they're not to be awakened until you're emotionally ready to govern them. If you awaken them too early, they govern you. That's the wisdom of the Bible. God is not this big rule guy. He's a wisdom guy. And what he's saying is if you awaken desire before it's time, you don't rule it, it'll turn around and rule you. And when you let those desires rule you, you're going down a road that leads to destruction. You're going to be 20, 25 years old, you're going to be an emotional wreck.
That's good.
Because you've been giving your heart away so many times to people who didn't deserve it. Okay? Let me tell you something about dating. If I was your age right now and I was going to be dating, I would determine, first thing, Pastor Matt, what are my core values? What are my non-negotiables? Have you ever sat down and even thought about what that is? These are my non-negotiables. I mean, I'm being real serious here. These are non-negotiables in my life. These are the lines, and those lines aren't going to move. They are non-negotiables, period. And once you define those non-negotiables, anybody that wants to date you that doesn't share those core values is automatically eliminated.
That's good. That's good.
Automatically eliminated. Why? Because more likely you're going to go their way than you are bring them your way. And don't ever date someone thinking you can change them. You do not marry a project.
That's good. It's good. It's a word.
That's a good word right there. You don't ever date somebody to change them. Well, give them some time when I can change them. No, you can't.
That's good.
Okay?
It's good.
Now, core values have to be defined. Then second of all, we have the law of attraction. That's a good thing. You need to be attracted to somebody. Nothing wrong with that. But after the law of attraction, you've got to go to the law of values. Do we share the same values? You know, if you're a Christian and they're a Buddhist, you got problems right out the gate. That's what I'm talking about. Number 3, so you got the law of attraction. Am I attracted? Number 2, do we have the same core values? Number 3 is something I used to talk about at the marriage conference, life rhythms. Life rhythms. Life rhythms is the stuff that's more practical than spiritual. Get away from the value stuff. That tends to be my core values spiritually. Life rhythms is, okay, if I was raised by a mother and a father in a healthy home, they actually liked each other, and Daddy worked, Mama stayed at home, helped me with homework, and made sure the house was spotless, and she comes from a single mama, and they did anything they could to just make it by, and the house was a wreck. Can I tell you, you have no idea how early in the relationship those two different life rhythms will cause conflict. I mean, right out of the gate, do you share the same life rhythms? Do you like the same kind of music? Do you enjoy the same activity? You're an outdoorsy person, they don't like to go out. There's friction right out the gate. So if you've already given your body away at the law of attraction before you found out you're compatible, I need more than 8 people clapping. This is good. So nobody gets your body until they have made a covenant with you. Why? Because your soul is tied to it. And you know why it's so hard to stay married these days? Because we've let too many people have our soul before we ever got to the person. So how can I give myself away if I don't have myself anymore?
That's good. It's good.
Well, I give myself to you and to you only. I can't make that commitment because 8 other people are sharing it.
It's good. It's good.
So you told me to be raw and real. They just you looking at Matt's looking at me. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that I tried to instill in my kids. Some of them did it, some of them didn't do it at all. But all I can do is teach. I can't control. And so define your core values. That's the first level of elimination. Okay? Well, I serve God. I go to church. Well, I don't care nothing about God or church. Okay?
Yeah.
Next. Okay? Life rhythms. Do you share common interests that make you compatible? Then after that, I think after the law of attraction, the law of core values, the law of compatibility, then you have something where you can work from. I never was one to date just for the sake of dating. To me, that didn't lead anywhere good. Even when I didn't serve God, if I didn't really like you and think you were someone that I could potentially stay with a while, I didn't just date you to be dating you. Because the fact is, most of the time, that don't lead to a good place. So I just hung out with friends or hung out with groups, and you had passed these things for me. Can I tell you something? When I met Hope, Hope scared me to death. Let me tell you why. Because I'd never loved nobody before, and I had never met anybody before that I was willing to date for a long time. And when I met Hope, I knew she'd be the last girl I ever dated. That scared the crap out of me. Why? Because in about day one, she passed all those tests. I was extremely attractive, duh. Okay. We shared the same core values. She was in school for ministry. I was in school for, well, I mean, immediately all these things clicked, and I thought she loves God. We have a lot of compatibility, and she's really fine. To be honest with you, she's fine. And so immediately she passed those tests, but those tests were there. And even though you have rough spots, they make for a whole lot of opportunity for a longer lasting relationship. It took a long time to answer that, but you hit my hot button, because I got 3 that are in that transitional stage right now.